Ooh, baby. That looks gorgeous. Everybody loves pizza, or at least I haven't met anyone that doesn't at least like pizza. There are lots of things you can do in your home oven, little tips and tricks to get best results out of that. Comment below if you want to see that video. But an outdoor pizza oven like this is the Ooni Code of 16, is going to get you the best results if you use it right. I love to cook a lot of pizza outdoors in the summer months because it's summer, you want to be outside, and also I'm not generating heat inside the house, which makes it nice and cool inside. In this video, I'm going to show you the best practices to get the best results out of your outdoor pizza oven and some pitfalls to avoid. Pizza ovens like these do present a few challenges, so I'm going to show you the ways to get the best pizza out of these things, as well as pitfalls to avoid. The first thing you gotta do is get yourself a laser temperature gun like this. This one has a temperature range of 58 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 1022 degrees Fahrenheit. You wanna get one like this with a wide temperature range because the entire purpose of an outdoor pizza oven like this is for it to get incredibly hot. Most indoor ovens max out at around 500 degrees, some go all the way up to 550. But this thing goes up to 950 degrees. And I would guarantee that your favorite pizza you've ever had, probably from a restaurant, comes from something like this, like a wood-fired brick pizza oven. This particular pizza oven uses propane, but there are plenty like the Ooni Code 16 that you can use wood, which is a little fancier, but this is gonna get us a great pie. So the first thing to keep in mind when you're starting to use your outdoor pizza oven is preheating. This particular one can take anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes to get up to temperature. So on this particular oven, there is a pizza stone at the bottom that does an insane job at retaining heat. However, it can take a while to get to that level of temperature. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fire this thing up and we're gonna let it sit for about 25 minutes. Open the valve there. Okay, so once your temperature gun shows that the temperature of the pizza stone is somewhere around 750, 800 degrees, you're pretty much preheated because it's gonna take time to assemble your pie. Now this is the most treacherous part of the process. You're probably gonna ruin one if this is your first time using a pizza peel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of flour and a little bit of cornmeal and just stick it right onto the pizza peel. This should help with the dough sticking. Fortunately, this dough is pretty nice. It's not gonna stick too badly. However, there's always a danger. The reason you use cornmeal is because it's so coarse that it sort of acts like almost little ball bearings for the dough to slide around on. So I'm just gonna even that out a little bit. And then take my dough, stretch it out a little bit more, and I'm gonna place that directly onto the pizza peel. Now here's the thing, here's the most important part. Once it's on there, you gotta give it a gentle shake. If it's sliding around, that is good. If it's sticking to the peel, that is a problem. You're gonna wanna add more flour, more cornmeal underneath on the part that's sticking, but that is sliding around really nicely. And you're gonna do this with every step of the process. So I've got my pizza sauce. Put that on there. As you're adding more weight to it, the odds of it sticking increase. And then we're gonna check it again. Is it still sliding? It is still sliding. Maybe not quite as well as before, so I'm gonna put a little bit more flour underneath this part. Just kind of lift it up a little bit more. That should help. Okay, now for the cheese. Then we're gonna add on the pepperoni. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top because that is delicious. All right, moment of truth, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Gotta put it in there and give it a nice flick of the wrist. Should slide right off. Yes, we did it. So once the pizza is in the oven, unfortunately, it is not a sort of set it and forget it kind of process because it's gonna cook really fast. And because it has open flame, it could burn. So I'm gonna turn the flame itself down because it's already warm enough. So you really wanna pay attention to it, make sure it's not catching on fire because it's so close to open flame. So what you're gonna wanna do is periodically maybe take it out really quick. You can already see some nice browning over here, which is what you want, but you don't want it to go too far. Just gonna give it a turn and put it right back in there. So again, one of the purposes of an oven like this is gonna cook extremely fast. In my home oven, which I do use quite a bit when I'm not cooking outside, it'll take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to cook. In here, it can take anywhere from 2 minutes to 4 minutes, depending on what kind of pizza you're doing. Ooh, baby, that looks gorgeous. You're getting the browning you want. You're getting some nice crispiness on here. You're getting the change of color of the cheese, which is also what you want. You know, this isn't quite a perfect circle, but you know, all pizzas are beautiful. So for all the fancy pizza people, get that nice browning on the bottom, get the nice cross section, nice and airy. I'd say it was cooked pretty nicely. One of the really cool things about a pizza oven like this is virtually self-cleaning. Because it gets so hot, there's really not much left over. You do want to scrape it off every now and then. As you can probably tell, it's been a minute since I've done that. I'm gonna be doing that later. But yeah, I think using a pizza oven like this does present challenges. You might have seen me struggle a little bit with the sort of shaking of the pizza on the peel once it was fully assembled. That is definitely the hardest part, but once you do it a couple times, you get used to it and you'll be using something like this really confidently. All right, well, this is cooled down enough to eat. I can finally take a bite. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I did use store-bought sauce this time around. I usually make my own. Same with the dough, but even with cheap store-bought stuff, you can really elevate your pizza game at home with something like this. All right, so that's how to get the absolute best out of your outdoor pizza oven. These tips should work with pretty much any pizza oven, although this is pretty specific to the Ooni. If you want to see more how to do it all content, make sure to look down below in the description. We got lots of stuff for you. And if there's anything you want to know how to do, write us down in the comments and we'll see about getting to it. But that's going to do it for me. This is Owen, and I'll see you in the next video.